Welcome, Janet, and thank you for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with me today. I'm very interested in the work that you do.
Animals hear more than humans, and so sound for them and their environment is extremely important, and it leads to their survival, but it also leads to stress, and there are many facets to that. So I thought I would start off by sharing my research as a sound behaviorist. This is a chart that shows our human hearing in gray, which from 20 to 20,000 hertz. Hertz is just one cycle per second. And the next chart is horse hearing. So horses and humans hear the most closely related of all mammals. And then we go to dogs, and they hear twice as much as humans. And cats hear 3 times more than we do. Because sound is invisible, we don't give it much attention. We know, obviously, when thunderstorms occur, how it affects us. But for an animal, for a dog and our beloved cats, it is terrifying because the essence of sound behavior is that when air pressure enters the inner ear and hits the membrane before the cochlea, this is for animals and for us, there's these little cilia, these hairs just before. And what happens is that when the sound goes above a comfortable level, that cilia bends. And that sends a nerve impulse to the brain saying, uh-oh, either danger or pain. We're not experiencing what they're experiencing because we don't hear, I got to get my thing in the right place. We don't hear what they're experiencing, and their world is this whole upper register of sound where we see obviously the outcome of that pressure in the ear and their fear to either do flight and or they're in our homes, and that relates to stress. And I said, now wait a second, humans like big spectrum of sounds because it moves them. But for an animal that is hypersensitive to sound, what if I modify music that I compose according to the instruments that are sustaining and soothing that I've learned through the years, and modify the music to be in the center of the hearing level that avoids that cutoff point of frequencies and decibels that put an animal into hypervigilance.
In my work, I see so many animals with anxiety, horses, cats, dogs, particularly tend to be the main animals that I communicate with. And what I find, actually, I had a little dog who passed, unfortunately. He was a beautiful little mini schnauzer, and I was having a conversation with him. He was at the vet. He was very, very sick. And he said to tell his mum that he liked the music that was playing, particularly the strings. And it was really interesting. So is there a particular key or a tone or an instrument that you find, well, a cat, dog, horse, or a bird, do they all resonate with the same thing? Or
that was such an interesting statement that you made, because there have been studies on what instruments work best, and the ones that work best are sustaining instruments. So I never put percussion, I never put human voice in the music, no brass instruments. It's all strings, guitars, harps, flutes. The similarity between dogs and cats is that they prefer long, sustained phrases. I modify every note so that it is the environment is, they will feel completely safe and connected to the environment. And by doing that, in terms of hearing, they will release muscle tension, release stress. Horses, completely different. They love short melodies, and they love rhythm. So I'm very strong in my 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4 rhythms when I write for horses. Here's a great story. I had a woman call me who was a horse owner whose horse suffers from narcolepsy.
Right.
And he was hurting himself in the stall by all of a sudden falling asleep and hitting his body against
Oh,
wherever he was. She said, I've tried everything, and I got your equine music, and the horse just lays down and goes to sleep. And she thanked me, thanked me, thanked me. And I thanked her because I was so grateful to be able to help that horse go into a better state for health. And that is my goal with every animal that I help, to help them prolong their life, release stress. Cats, as we know, um, any high levels of stress will lead to illness in a cat.
mm,
And sometimes the solution is just by playing the music in different scenarios, car travel, um, if they're left alone, introducing a new cat to another cat, introducing a cat adopted into a home with children and dogs. They have tremendous capacities to adjust, but they need to adjust and maintain that state of well-being. That's why you can see on my poster here, music for behavioral balance.